I am going to tell something about data transfer techniques used in 8085 microprocessor. In 8080 microprocessor, data is transferred from memory to peripheral devices or peripheral devices to memory or between registers. So like this data is transferred from one destination to another. So why is data transfer needed? We can connect several input output devices and memory peripherals to a microprocessor. However, since different technologies are involved, there will be differences in the speed of operation and data transfer. Every peripheral has its own speed, so there will be difference between the speed and operation of data transfer. Usually, when memory is connected with microprocessor, there isn't stark difference in the processing speed since semiconductor memories are generally easily compatible with microprocessor. However, this might not always be the case. But the problem often arises when external peripherals are connected as input output devices. A slow input output device won't be able to transfer data a satisfactory rate when microprocessor requests for data transfer. And usually the peripheral devices do have slower transfer rate than the processor. Maybe the processor might send 2 units of information per second, but the external device might accept 1 unit of information per second. Our conversely, perhaps the external device expect quicker transfer, but the microprocessor might be sending information a bit slow. This might lead to severe data losses or devices might get damaged or there might be even chance of system to slow down all over, thus affecting overall efficiency of the system. To avoid this problem, a number of data transfer techniques have been devised. Since constant communication is required between the external device and the processor, these data transfer techniques play a crucial role in the efficient functioning of the system with externally connected devices. Classification of data transfer techniques classify the data transfer schemes into two modes. One is serial data transfer and another is the parallel data transfer. Parallel data transfer, we know that under the parallel data transfer scheme, multiple data bits can be transmitted at the same time. Like see the diagram, data transfer techniques, different types of data transfer techniques that are used in 8085 microprocessor. First is parallel data transfer, then comes serial data transfer. In parallel data transfer, again is divided into three. One, program data transfer, then interrupt driven data transfer. Third one is device or DMA data transfer. Further, programmed data transfer is further divided into synchronous data transfer and asynchronous data transfer. And DMA data transfer again divided into three: burst or block transfer DMA, cycle steal or single divide data transfer DMA, or transparent or hidden DMA. Then another type of data transfer technique is serial data transfer, in which it comes under two modes. One is synchronous data transfer, another is asynchronous data transfer. As we have seen, the parallel data transfer techniques, multiple data bits can be transmitted at the same time. Again, we have programmed input output data transfer, interrupt driven program input output data transfer, and device or direct memory data transfer comes under the parallel data transfer techniques. These T techniques are used in under this technique or under parallel data transfer technique. Then come programmed input output data transfer. This is a straightforward scheme under the parallel data transfer mechanism. This mode is generally preferred for simple, small microprocessor systems where speed is critical. This method can work under the synchronous and asynchronous mode depending on the speed and architecture of the input-output devices. We also prefer this method when there is small amount of information to be exchanged between the microprocessor and other devices that are placed near to the microprocessor, for example, computer, printer, etc. Using in and out instruction, data transfer is carried out between the microprocessor and input output data devices. Processor reads data from input port and input device using the in command. The processor sends data out from the CPU to the output port or to the input device using the out instruction. Thus, as the speed of the processor and external device match, the data transfer process is carried out using the in and out instructions. Then comes synchronous data transfer method. The word synchronous means taking place at the same time. Thus, to establish communication between our processor and the device, we need to set a common clock pulse. This common pulse synchronizes the peripheral device with the 8085 microprocessor. This method is used when the speed of the microprocessor Intel 8085, in this case, the external peripheral device match with each other. If the device is ready to send data, it can indicate via ready pin of the 8085. Once the speed match, the data transfer immediately begins. Once a signal is issued by the microprocessor to begin transferring, the microprocessor needs not wait for extended period because of the matching speed. This technique of data transfer is seldom used to communicate with the input output devices through, though because input output devices compatible with the microprocessor speed are usually not found. Hence, this method of data transfer is most commonly employed for communicating with compatible memory devices. Then comes our asynchronous data transfer mode. When the speed of the input output device is lower than that of the microprocessor, we prefer asynchronous data transfer mode. As the speeds of both the devices differ, the input output device's internal timing is entirely independent of the microprocessor. Thus, they are termed to be asynchronous from each other. The term asynchronous means at irregular intervals. We implement the asynchronous data transfer method using the handshaking policy. What happens in handshaking? This is the flow chart of the handshaking. Start, then send ready signal to the input output device to begin the transfer. If the device is ready, execute the data transfer, or if not, the device is not ready to execute the data transfer, then it again come to the same point, right? Let us understand the flowchart of handshaking protocol. First, microprocessor raises the ready signal and send it to the input output device which is connected to it. The status of the input output device is continuously checked to see prepared for the data transferring. If the device is not ready, it is checked again and again until the device signals it is ready. Once the device is ready, the data transfer begins from the microprocessor to the input output device. Then comes interrupt driven input output data transfer. The programmed input output data transfer unfortunately wastes lot of time, thus the interrupt driven input output data transfer is much better option. Here no extra time of microprocessor is wasted in waiting for a response signal from the external device. Under this method, the input output device informs the microprocessor about the readiness only when it is ready. This is accomplished by interrupting the Intel 8085 interrupt. To begin with, microprocessor initialize the transfer of data by sending a request to the external device to be get ready. Following this, the processor continues working normally, executing the original program that then wastes its cycle by keeping the check on the status of the external input output device. Once the input output device is all set to transfer information, it is sent a control signal to the 8085 to inform its readiness. This control signal is called interrupt INTR signal. Once the INTR signal is received by 8085, it responds to it by submitting an INTR acknowledgement signal back to the external input output device. When the input output device gets the acknowledgement, both the devices are now prepared for the data transfer. The microprocessor completes the execution of the current instruction, then suspends the job. It saves all the contents and status of the program counter into the stack memory and thus proceeds with the subroutine program. This subroutine program for the raised interrupt is called the interrupt service routine subroutine ISR program. This ISR first saves the interrupt of our processor into the stack. Once the data transfer is completed by executing the necessary instructions, the ISR restores the previous processor status and continues with the normal execution of the main program. Then comes DMA data transfer or device or direct memory access. In the DMA scheme, the data transferred between the input output devices and the external memory directly without having any interference by the accumulator register. The processor gives up its control over the address bus as well as the data bus to the input output device or DMA controller, thus aiding the exchange of information between the source and the destination directly. Here there are three techniques under the direct memory access data transfer: burst or block data transfer, DMA